Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Hi, Mr. Bro. Hi, how are you?
Okay, now the like everyone can see you, but like now before nobody can see you, so that's why the point. You're in the backstage, so that's why. I'm so sorry about this, Mr. Muhammad. And let's just start from the beginning, okay? Let's go from the right beginning, talking about all this. So please, like the first question, what I was talking about, like how the Muslims can or just how is the Muslim supposed to do to deal with the non-Muslims? This is or with their enemies specifically, and with the non-Muslims. If you can explain this for us, please. Let's start now.
All right, so let me start with in the name of God, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So this issue is very complicated in the world now. You can see the wars now in the world, what's going on there in the Middle East, Iran and Israel. You know,
Yeah,
Iran represents the Muslim side, and the Islamophobia all over the world, and the persecution and attacks against Muslims. You're killers. You want to kill us. You're using jihad against us. So they look at Islam as a religion of fighting, religion of using the force against civilians, women, and children, right? So let's talk about fighting. You know, how
yeah.
can Muslim deal or the non-Muslims? Let's take fighting as an example. For example,
This is
right?
going with the reality. You're right.
Right? Yeah, because
Yeah.
they look at that like the vast majority, or actually a lot of people look at Islam as its religion of terrorism, fighting. You wanna make us convert to your religion by force, by using power. That's absolutely incorrect. That's 100% wrong. If you just look at the Quran, the holy book of Muslims, look at the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of God, He put in His book, talking about fighting, talking about the relation between Muslims and non-Muslims, how to invite non-Muslims to Islam, using force, using power, by using sword, killing innocents and civilians. No, Almighty Allah God said in the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَإِن جَنَحُوا لِلسَّلْمِ فَجْنَحْ لَهَا وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. If you have a war, if you have fighting with a group of people, and they want to cease fire, stop fire, incline to peace, so you also hurry up. Right away, you sign this treaty, this peace treaty. Incline to peace as well. They call you to peace, you join peace treaty, right? And another, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ, and fight in the cause of God, those who start first, those who cause fighting first. So Muslims, we don't cause fight first. We don't fight first. We don't call for fighting first. No, we don't use power first. If somebody use power and force against you, you also start it as well, to use it as well. Likewise. That's why, in modern countries in America and Europe and France and Germany and Asia, China, Japan, like all over the countries, there are like police forces, right? Armed forces, right? They use those armed forces for specific reasons. One of those reasons to defend yourself, right? Defend yourself against any oppression, against any persecution, against any threats, any evils, right? The same thing in
Mhm.
Islam. In Islam, Muslims wouldn't start fight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fight those who start fight. Defend yourself. If this group of people start fighting you, they use force against you, you defend yourself. So one of the main reasons of fighting Islam, to defend yourself against this oppression, this persecution. And let me give an example. Prophet
But
Muhammad,
can you just because before going to the example, if you can, may I ask? Some people they said like in the 7th October, what happened is Hamas they tried to just they fight it, they killed uh, Israel. So some people they said no, okay, Islamophobia started like if you can go back, you can go to 11th September, you can go on. There is many dates, many actions happened, and then through this history, many years, and right now they said no. What we see, just the Muslims they started the fight. So to answer on these questions, how you can respond on those people?
So they say when Hamas started the attacks on Israel, October 7th,
Yeah, they said that.
started.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. Okay, I'm telling
Yeah,
you like what the people are just they're saying.
yeah. They say Hamas started it, right? They
Yeah,
started the conflict. They started
they
bombing.
started the conflict. Yeah, the fight. They
All right, if you
killed hostages. They killed many people. They are now there is hostages. So where is the peace in that?
go back in history, if you go back like maybe like 50 years ago,
Yeah.
and you look deep into history, you will find a lot of blood, so much blood, massacres, genocides that are committed by the Israel, the Zionists against the Palestinians, right? If you're reading history, the pages of history filled with blood,
Mm.
dipped with blood of innocent civilians, innocent women and children, innocent men, because of the weapons, the mass destruction weapons, the illegal bombs, illegal missiles that Israel used against Muslims, the innocent Muslims in Palestine and Gaza, right? So they started first. They started first, not the most, not the Hamas. Hamas was just
So
trying to.
you yeah. So you're talking about like it's going like to 1948 from that time.
And even before 1948, like the gangs, the Jewish gangs, they committed a lot of
Mm.
massacres, genocides against the
Yeah.
Palestinians with the help of the Western world, with the Western world in Europe and there. They backed, they supported the Jewish gangs with weapons and bombs and missiles and killed a lot of civilians even before 1948. You know, so Hamas didn't
Mm.
start it. This thing Hamas started the attacks, the conflict. The conflict is very like back in history, is deep, like rooted there in the history, like like more than 70 or 80 years ago. So Hamas didn't start it. They didn't start. They just defended themselves. Yeah, you
Okay.
know.
Okay. So to go back like to the history. You know, we talked about this right now. Okay, if we can go back to the history, please can you give us example? Maybe like you know you're professional like in Islam. So maybe you have some examples. Explain to people how that like uh, should like how that happened before.
Mr. Broad, most people think Islam was spread over the world by sword, and that's as I mentioned that at the beginning of the meeting, it's wrong, 100% unauthentic. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he went through hundreds of battles. The, he only fought in 8 of them, like more than 200 military expeditions and more than 200 battles, missions. Prophet Muhammad only fought real fighting in just eight. Eight out of 200, more than 200. So Islam was never spread by sword or fighting. It was by delegation, sending delegation and delegates to kings and rulings to countries all over the world, calling them to Islam in peace. Let me give an example. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the messenger of God, when he started the mission of prophethood in Mecca, he was around 40 years old, right? And the Muslims were just minority, small minority, so few Muslims there, like more
Mm-hmm.
like around 100 to 100 persons in Mecca. They have been persecuted, humiliated, oppressed. The Quraysh, the disbelievers, the polytheists Mecca killed a lot of Muslims for
So
13 years. 13 years
okay,
under attack. Yeah.
may I just fast question like why is that? Why all this fight like about on the Muslims? All everything that they're fighting the Muslims for now. We talked about Hamas. We're talking about like why is that? Why they are fighting the Muslims?
Because Islam has a genuine message. Islam
Uh huh.
has genuine and the message of justice and truth against all kinds of oppression, persecution, and any kind of treating people bad, any kind of enslaving people, taking control over wealth. No, Islam came. The Islamic nation is commanded by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to spread justice, social justice among individuals, among people. That's why they fight Islam. Islam is calling for the equality of all humans, no superiority of the black over the white, of the white over the black, right? Islam is calling for social justice, no discrimination in Islam. So they're fighting the values of Islam. They're not fighting Islam itself, because Islam is calling for the perfect values of humanity. They don't want to like spread all these genuine and amazing values of Islam all over the world. No, they wanna, some people, like I'm talking about the dictators, the tyrants, the tyranny powers in the world now. They want to put some races over other races, the white over the black, right? The Europe and the first class world over the third and the second class world. This over this. No, Islam is the message of God. That's why fighting has a unique definition in Islam. We call it fight in the cause of God. Fighting in the cause of God. And you fight in the cause of God, you seek to establish justice, freedom of religion, trying to evacuate any kind of oppression, injustice among people. That's why we fight Islam. Define the values of humanity Islam is calling to, Islam is calling for. That's why they don't like the message. This is the genuine message of Islam. So some might say, but Muslims kill innocents. Muslims, as you see in the September 11, 9/11, right? They bombed the center, the trading center in America, the center trading in America. That they killed a lot of civilians. Islam has nothing to do with this. Al-Islam bari min dhalik. Islam has nothing to do with it. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whenever he would send one of his companions on a military expedition or a mission of fighting, he would advise and instruct his companions, go fight in the cause of God. You're not mercenaries. You're not fighting for money. You're not fighting for payment. You're not fighting to take control over wealth sources. You're not fighting to enslave people. No, go and fight for the cause of God, for the cause of justice. Do not kill a child. Don't kill a woman. Don't kill an old man. Don't destroy a church. Do not destroy a temple. Do not destroy a monastery, right? Don't burn a tree. Don't destroy a crop or fruits. Don't pollute water. Yeah. Don't do any evil stuff, any evil purposes in your fighting. Just go and fight in the cause of Allah. Do not be treacherous. Do not betray, right? That was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam instructions to his companions before fighting any enemies, right? Another thing, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu this amazing hadith about the mu'ahid. The mu'ahid is the person, the foreigner.
Mu'ahid, what does that mean? Like, can you explain?
Yeah, a mu'ahid is a foreigner, is a non-Muslim that lives in a Muslim place, in a Muslim country, in a Muslim region. Then this person was given a pledge, a promise of protection, right? Prophet Muhammad said, whoever killed a mu'ahid, whoever killed a non-Muslim that was given a pledge, a promise of protection in a Muslim land, he will never smell the fragrance of paradise. He will never enter paradise. And he added, and you can smell the fragrance of paradise on the day of judgment for of a distance of 40 years. Right? And another narration said, I am free. I am free from his allegiance. I am free from his I'm free of his allegiance. Whoever killed this mu'ahid, and the may as well. The may is a person that came to a Muslim country for some purpose, for working, for staying there for a period of time. They must be secured and safe in this Muslim land, right?
Okay, so